snake math, an arbitrary method used to estimate around how much money you're going to make during your reptile breeding season. The term usually used excluding any of the negative effects that can happen and take place during your breeding season to calculate just how much money you can make. In a nutshell, you're counting the chickens before the egg hatches, but in this case, we're not talking about chickens, we're talking about geckos. So today, let's use good old snake math, pair up some geckos, and calculate exactly how much money I can make in a perfect scenario with breeding everything here at Dakota Blue Exotics. Let's get into it. Unfortunately, due to my mental issues, buddy, you actually got to go back because I have to start here and start going down because that's just how my brain works. Happy New Year's, folks. Once again, another year of Dakota being on YouTube. Great. To do every year in the New Year's, it is time to pair the animals that have not been paired yet for the 2025 season, which is majority going to be my New Caledonian. However, there is some stuff that needs to be paired back there, and then we'll talk about the stuff that's already been paired and exactly how much money we can make. Can we hit the 100K for 2025? As long as nothing goes wrong. Let's find out. Up on the list, we have a very funky misfire Cappuccino male. This is going to be a Cappuccino creamy pen. Last year we did pair this guy to two girls. That's going to be my high white wall pinstripe and then my red-based lily white. Some absolutely fantastic babies. We ended up getting 5 Frappuccinos that year, which was absolutely incredible. We ended up holding back 1 because I just always want to have a Frapp in here. So I think we're just going to replay. You know, don't fix it if it's not broke. They made some absolutely amazing geckos. Let's go ahead and pair them again. This being one of the females, the red-based lily white. Look at that coverage, almost goes all the way up. Beautiful dorso, missing tail, but that's okay. And it's gotten a lot better with her age, and not as jumpy as she used to be. Beautiful girl. The white wall girl, absolutely fantastic. Funny story, I'm gonna sell this gecko. It's been on quite a few shows, never did sell, but the last one actually fired up really nice, and I forgot just how beautiful this gecko was, and I thought, nah, I'll sell it another time. Amazing girl, pairing with that beautiful cap, we're getting some nice high white geckos, and also some potential cappuccinos. Using our handy dating calculator, which at this point in time has pretty much made all those years of me doing math completely useless, we can calculate using snake math how much money that trio will make. The lovely snake math, we can use the fact that crested geckos give us an average of 8 to 14 eggs a season. We'll round that up a little bit on the higher end, giving us 12 eggs, 24 total for those two girls, with an average gecko cost of $300, perhaps being a lot more valuable, whereas the normal geckos being a little bit less valuable, shrinking it to that average 300 times 24 is going to give us $7,200. That's where we're at. Still got plenty more to go. Let's see if we can hit that number. Next up on the list, we have this absolutely gorgeous Tiger Super Dow ink spot. I love the ink spotting on his face. That massive spot right there is incredible. Super happy this guy finally made size. It took an extra year from all of our other, I believe this is a 2021 baby, I want to say. All of the other babies have already given me a round of eggs and have been doing great and growing great. This guy was about 15 grams when everyone else was about 30, so I'm happy to see he's finally made the size, which means we can start pairing it. What pairing is that going to be today? I'm glad you asked. First girl on the list for that guy is going to be Pepperjack. Pepperjack is one of my all-star geckos, a beautiful peppering of a mixture of red and black spots, super Dalmatian. Crest is okay, but overall an amazing gecko. For this girl, last year we gave her to All-Star, my best male I ever made. However, him being a red base and her being a yellow, it made this kind of like rusty brown gecko, so I'm hoping to really get some nice yellow and get some more of this because I love the contrast between the red spots and then big black spots with the super Dalmatian trait. Here on this project is going to be Phoenix, one of my OGs. Phoenix is absolutely fantastic. Great tiger striping, nice super Dow, good crest overall. Well, put 2 and 2 together. 2 nice Tiger Super Dows are going to make even nicer Tiger Super Dow babies. Same strat as before, 24 eggs times, I'll be a little bit lenient and say it's going to be about 175 baby as an average, giving us a total of 4,200, making our grand total $11,200. We get to go talk about this funky male that was a gift for me for one of my viewers about, I think it was last year exactly, towards the end of the year, fall or something. This is going to be a brindle Super Dalmatian with a funky dorsal stripe that is also a 100% het for Axanthic. Absolutely amazing. Unfortunately, we don't have any Axanthic stuff here. I'm hoping before the season gets too late next year, we can grab a 100% het or a visual Axanthic female to get some Axanthic stuff coming at Dakota Blue Exotics. That just stems from the fact of, if I have a het Axanthic thing, I should probably make an Axanthic a nice quality upgraded morph now that we're trying to really push our quality over here. In the meantime, let's see what he'll be getting paired with today. First, let's talk about one that will not be being paired. This is going to be Strawberry Shortcake. Unfortunately, I fired up all these geckos and forgot that I don't like firing this girl up. She's pretty much much covered completely with red spots and 90% red. You can see a little bit of black here and there, but unfortunately she's also red base, which means when she fires up, she looks like a really bad Dalmatian, unfortunately. It's an amazing girl. The reason why we're not breeding her, we will be listing her for sale soon, is the fact that the crest. I'm not a fan of the crest. I don't like how short it is. Of course, as we downsize most of our crested geckos, really focusing on quality, I want that quality to also be in the body structure of the animal, not just the color of it. We'll be putting this girl aside and listing her for sale, not having to hold her back because she's producing eggs, because when it comes to crested geckos, we want to produce the best over here, not the most. I'm being a little bit of a hypocrite because what we are pairing her is with Cookie. Cookie is one of my OG girls, the first investment crested gecko I bought years and years ago at this point. It's been absolutely amazing. While her crest is definitely better than the other one, but not by much, what she does have is some absolutely fantastic ink blotting and is chocolate. Chocolate being just a darker base, when she fires down, she's almost this charcoal color. When she fires up like this, she's like a brown, well, chocolatey gecko. With brindle, obviously having some spots, creating a funky gecko with maybe that dorsal combined, so you get this light barring, brindle in it, super Dalmatian, and then this really dark pattern with brindling in it that breaks it up. I think that'll be an absolutely amazing project. So, well, she does lack a little bit in the crest department. We can fix that later on, but I think her genes and herself make her worthwhile. Maybe this really nice tiger super Dalmatian, great oil spilling right on the face, some nice average tiger Dalmatians. Obviously the goal is to exaggerate that brindle and tiger trait, and then of course port more dots on it. This is gonna be a little funky project, so I don't really know with that male what's gonna pop out. It's either gonna be bad or it's gonna be really good. As you know, we like rolling the dice over here, so let's hope we shoot for the good. Or they're just gonna be really weird geckos. Either way. Well, that was quick. We already got our first confirmed lock. And now with that 50% possible head Axanthic across those eggs, boosting that price a little bit up, let's say $200 as an average, we're gonna be placing our grand total at $16,200. Now let's get back to this Chahua gecko, an absolutely awesome GTX mix. I really like these because from my OG pair that we talked about a little bit earlier, it's pretty much a perfect blend of them, a brown base with a green stripe on both, the male being darker, the female that we'll check out being a little bit lighter. Here, these guys did get in a little bit of a scrap to help boost back up the female. She's looking great now, fantastic. Now these guys have been cooled, I think they're going to be a little bit better. They'll hang out more when they're in their cooling period, and then once the season really starts from them, I think they'll get along a little bit better, but definitely be paying a closer attention on these guys and making sure that they're okay. Here we have the beautiful female. You can see those breeding scars right there at the top. That's where we had to rehab, but she's doing absolutely fantastic. As you can see, crushing food, a nice big girl. Like I mentioned, absolutely love the coloration, the greens mixed with the browns to make an absolutely beautiful Chahua gecko. I think this will be a great pair. They did great with us, giving us 2 clutches of eggs last year, because it would have been 3, but I honestly didn't think this female was ready last year, but then she started laying me duds, so I ended up pairing them a little bit earlier, but a little bit later in the season. But with that being said, let's pair them up. Chahua geckos producing an average of 6 eggs at the high end per year. We'll be giving these at an average cost of $600 in this market, giving us a grand total of $20,400. Moving on, let me put my finger somewhere. Let's talk gargoyle geckos. First up on the list, this beautiful black and white girl. Absolutely awesome. You don't see the black and whites too often. I know everyone likes their reds and oranges and yellows, but the black and whites are pretty cool. Especially when you have a girl like this fired down. Looks like she's about to be in shed as well. Get this ghost looking girl. Now this girl had a very bad accident. Let's see here. Big breeding incident, scalped the head. She took many months to rehab, but we finally got her good and going. We'll be doing a pairing with her. I feel like she's ready. She's a nice body weight, good weight. And we'll see. Once again, when it comes to the gargoyle geckos, I'll be keeping a closer eye on the pair, make sure that everything's kosher, the breeding's good, and as soon as she starts laying, we'll remove her instead of keeping her in for any longer than she needs to. This is a cool representation of like fired down versus fired up. Both of these are B and W striped animals, but you can see fired down, in shed, fired up. Beautiful pair. They'll be making some absolutely fantastic babies. They definitely did this year. We sold them really fast. Let's hope again we have some good ones this season as well. With gargoyle geckos laying an average of 6 to 10 eggs, we'll do 8 to be nice. Black and white, of course, not being as popular as the colorful stripes. That brings the value a little bit down to an average of $175, giving us a grand total of $21,800. A little bit of oddball stuff we'll be doing over here is going to be this orange blotch girl. Everyone is into the stripes. Pretty much red stripes are the big thing right now, but I do love the orange blotches, and luckily this year we have a male that is old enough to breed to make some fantastic blotch animals. Going to be this male right here. Look at that, identical orange blotches. This one has a little bit of lighter, this one's a bit of a darker eyes, or this one has a little bit of lighter eye. Well, They're actually like pretty much the same exact gecko. This dude has a little bit better blotching than this girl, but I'm sure they can even themselves out to make some fantastic dudes. Blotch Gargoyle geckos giving us a chance to hit a super blotch animal that does raise the price a little bit on them with that average going on, putting us at a grand total of 23,400. Don't worry, we're still giving the people what they want with this absolutely fantastic red-based, red-striped gargoyle gal. Look at those colors. This girl is hot. Because the color red usually means... This is the boy we will be using. I have a lot of girls and not a lot of males, so the decisions have to get a little bit odd. This is still a really nice pattern, broken red stripe male with a little blushing. I love the little cheek blushing some of these guys have. Almost like a red and orange. This will pair great with her, produce some nice babies. Once again, all the other gargoyles. Something I really like about this male are how large let's zoom in. Size of the horns he has. That's a nice size horn for a gargoyle gecko. Now let's get into my only personal pairing of gargoyle geckos. Both of these girls actually came from Andrew. I'm sure they're babies from some of the parents that we have. If you guys didn't see this video over here, we actually took over Andrew's gargoyle collection to continue the legacy for him while he is dealing with some personal health stuff. But these girls are one of my own and the ones that I breed. I sold off all my other stuff because it was vastly inferior to Andrew's collection. I really didn't have a need to have that many gargoyles. But red-based, red stripe stuff has always have a keen in my heart, man. And I'm sure that sounds great. Also, these geckos right here are the whole reason why I met Andrew and why I have his collection and continue doing his gargoyle breeding project. So, little sentimental here. They're fantastic geckos. Easy pairing choice. Next up, another funky little combination. This is going to be Banjo, my clean base, full red stripe, bold red stripe girl with Goat, the reticulated gargoyle gecko. Something with a clean base for reticulated and blotch stuff just because I don't want the color of the base to kind of mask what's going on with the blotches. We ran this pair again and got some fantastic babies that them being an absolutely incredible animal that I completely undervalued, selling it for 200 when really it was worth around 6 to 650. One customer out there, you got a hell of a deal. Won't make that mistake twice. They made some absolutely awesome babies, so why not run the pairing again? A little bit of an oddball thing, but they do make some great dudes. A funky pairing, we got this really cool red stripe girl, but you can almost see like it's red with hints of orange, and I think that will be a little bit more exaggerated pairing with an orange stripe male. Like I said, we also are low on males. I should have held some back, but I didn't at the time, so this is the pairing we're gonna go to. We're going for diversity here, so I don't really want to use the same male with too many females. I really just like doing one-on-one pairings, just like with my Leachianus and my Chahuas. The cresteds are a little bit different, but when it comes to these guys, I like one-on-one. And when it comes to my gargoyle geckos, this has always been the all-star pairing, thanks to Andrew. This is the pairing. This is going to be Yum Yum to Keg Stand. I did not name any of these gargoyle geckos. You guys don't know about the story about Keg Stand? Keg Stand had a severe prolapse years ago when he was breeding over with Andrew. Andrew, being just the amazing guy he is, actually opted to surgically remove the thingamajigger that was prolapsed, leaving him with one. Yes, geckos have two. Before they handed off to my collection, Andrew did not pair Keg Stand again. He was waiting for him to make a full recovery, and by the time he did, they moved over to me, which then we decided to see if Keg Stand can still produce babies with one and not two. Answer is yes. We made some incredible babies with this pairing last year. Some amazing red stripe and orange stripe stuff, bold striping, of course, red base thanks to that, some phantomized stuff thanks to this girl, some absolutely amazing stuff. So of course, we gotta do the all-star pairing again. This is always my favorite pairing to get eggs from. I'll do another little funky gargoyle pairing. We've got some of the new stuff on the block. This is going to be a beautiful red base, red stripe Phantom Eye girl, and we're going to do an orange blotch. I have a lot of stripe stuff going on, so I'd really like to see some Phantom Eye blotches. I think that would be just really cool. Now was not ready last year. I put him with a girl and he ended up dropping his tail. He was very scared of her, so we'll put her with a smaller female like this girl right here, and hopefully by this year, putting some more size on him, regrowing that tail fully. If you guys didn't know, gargoyles regrow their tail. Hopefully he's got a little bit more confidence. This will be a pairing I'll be keeping my eye on. If he does seem a little too stressed, we'll be trying again the year following, but I think pairing with a smaller girl will do the trick. When it comes to gargoyle geckos, this is the last pairing we'll be talking about. These are the only two large ones that we have left. Remember, when we're pairing gargoyle geckos, it can get a little bit more rough than say with crested geckos, so you want to pair them with a similar size. I think something funky about this, obviously red stripe, red base girl, and then we've got this orange stripe boy, but what's funny is his stripes are only on the outer side, where her stripes are only on the inner side. What will that make? I'm hoping red middle dorsal, orange outer dorsal super gecko. What it will probably be making? Not that, but still excited to find out. With our handy dandy snake math, that means we are going to be making just over $35,000 for just the crested and gargoyles in one Chahua pairing. Wow, we're just raking in the money. That's why I'm wearing a 8-year-old hat and a Slipknot t-shirt and pajamas. It's because I'm just rolling in it. If you thought that was it, it's not the case. There's so many geckos, man. That is just the tip of the iceberg. Now I'm gonna start going a little bit faster because you've already seen these pairings, so we'll just kind of brief up on each and every one of the cages you see behind me. Just take a look at the footage, and this video would go on way too long because we still have all this to talk about, all that to talk about. Let's speed things up a little bit and just get the money to keep going up. All right, coming down all of this for our Tokay geckos, we'll talk about all the pairings, and then what the grand total is would be with all the Tokay gecko eggs being sold. That being, this is going to be Candy Dot to Paradox, a little bit less eggs because it is a first-time wild-caught female. This one is Green Galaxy to Het Green Galaxy, hopefully giving us visual Green Galaxies. Everything goes well. Of course, this is Snake Mouth, so of course they're gonna do it. Het Diablo to Het Diablo, giving us about 4 to 6 eggs because this is a first year girl. Down here we have Reduced Pattern to Normal Girl, giving us about 10 plus eggs because they've been producing just a bunch of eggs in there. Paradox to Oddball, giving us Het Paradox, potentially Het Oddball. We're not sure. We haven't proved her out. And then lastly, Granite to Het Granite, and then Platinum to Candy Dot. With all of those Tokay pairings in mind, that brings our grand total from about $37,000 all the way to $75,865. When it comes to my Tokay geckos, these are my heavy hitters and my big spenders. I've probably spent about tens of thousands of dollars on all of the things you see right here. Probably. I don't keep track because it would probably make me sad in my bank account. Coming on over to this enclosure, of course, the Leachy geckos, the amazing things that we had all those holdbacks of. Now, I am not pairing them today because Leachy geckos being defensive and territorial, pairing males and females in each other's enclosures isn't always necessarily a good thing. It increases your risk of them fighting, the female being territorial if you put her in, the male being territorial if you put him in his, so on and so forth. So I need to build a temporary neutral enclosure to pair both of those geckos in. New surroundings, new geckos for each other, even though they met last year. You know, it's a love lost, now rekindled relationship. Last year as a first year girl, this girl gave me 6 beautiful fertile eggs, so this year let's shoot for 8. Why not? 8 eggs going on the average cost of $550 gives us a grand total of $80,265. We have all of this to talk about. Oh boy. Over at this side right here, we have my pair of Chahua geckos, the ones that I've dudded out literally for the past 2 years. But hey, let's just say they do well. They give us 4 good eggs this year. Over here is going to be our possible het patternless pairing, with both of my geckos being possible het patternless, both my Tokays. Let's just say they are, and we get patternless babies through it. Looking at geckos over here, they have started laying, although the first clutch was infertile. So let's just say we're going to get 4 more clutches throughout the year. Brings that beautiful number all the way to $84,665. Wow, I'm almost 100,000 there. Absolutely amazing. Right on over here, we have all of our cool anoles and day geckos. Right here is going to be P. lineatus, which is our first year breeders. Obviously going to do absolutely well as first time breeders. Anoles carolensis probably is not a big heavy hitter when it comes to money, but they do have a communal colony, which is why I absolutely love them and will always keep them. Anolis marmoratus, very cool leopard-headed anole. And then finally, Anolis macuba. All of those optimally laying eggs and hatching out gives us a grand total of $91,265. Then last, but certainly not least, we have the frog-eyed geckos over here. Going to be Phalansoma clemeri, our little breeding pair. We are going to be upgrading them as soon as my bamboo comes in to build them at 12 by 18. And then the Urodactylotes, which we haven't paired yet because once again, they'll be going into a larger enclosure as well. All of these gecko species raises our grand total. I already forgot the number. $97,615. Does the other 2 racks and change come from? Probably out of my butt, because I mean, all of this has really been out of my butt. It's kind of what snake math is. So what kind of video would you rather see? I'm going to make $97, $370, whatever the number was, or $100,000. Come on. Let's be honest, we're just making up numbers as we go along here. You got it, boys and girls. I'm making $100,000 in 1 year. Absolutely incredible. Look how rich I am. About why snake math doesn't work. because let's be honest, if that was the case, I wouldn't be in a basement. I'd be in a nicer place. Just say in the beginning, same back with arbitrary. It's not a very accurate measurement. It's cool to see what, like, if 100% of everything went incredible, how much money you could possibly be making, but at the end of the day, just like in life, nothing goes 100% right. Multiple issues that will occur with this season, this includes females not laying the eggs at the optimal number, you know, that 10 to 12, the 10 to 8 to 4, whatever the numbers were that I gave them. Includes eggs not making it through hatching. A lot can be done for a number of things. Improper measurements, some eggs just don't make it, some girls don't inseminate their eggs, so you ended up getting duds for this part of the year. Usually in the beginning, towards the end they get a little bit better. Sometimes you're an absolute idiot, and because you haven't used your incubator in 4 months, you accidentally don't put the probe back into the incubator, instead it lays outside, making your incubator running at 97 degrees for New Caledonian eggs, just cooking thousands of dollars and 30 babies all together that were still in the egg. A multitude of things can really go wrong. Even when the baby gets out of the egg, it's not a guarantee that the baby is going to thrive. I've had babies hatch out, couple weeks just not able to make it, so on and so forth. You don't get the genes that you want out of there. You know, we're pairing Diablo to Het Diablo. We'll get 70 hets instead of one visual, because sometimes the world is just like, fuck you. You're not getting cool babies this year. Pal, breeding in a nutshell when you're going for genetic morphs. Then, of course, if you're just like me, at the end of the day, if you do hit that very valuable, cool morph, cool mutation, you hatch out that cool animal that's very valuable and very cool, you probably don't want to sell it. You probably want to hold it back, because in your hand, you have a $3,000 animal that you'd have to pay for, but now you get it for free. You just have to grow it out. Last but certainly not least, $100,000 is the gross number, as the gross paycheck, and you gotta account for everything. Taxes? You ever seen a self-employed man pay taxes? It's not a fun time. God, it's fucking government. Food bill, electricity, caging, cool plants, health things that might go wrong, this, that, and the other. You ain't making 100 grand breeding these geckos, I'll tell you that right now. At the end of the day, I will probably make a little bit less than half. I'm gonna shoot for making $40,000 this year in 2025, if I can keep my self-control in check and not try to hold back everything so I can make some money this year. But that's the number I'm shooting for net. 40 grand out of all the work you're about to see this year on what I'm doing with everything. There you got it, boys and girls. What did we learn today? Snake math is silly, and I made it even sillier because half of those numbers I probably was just making up as I go along. It's roughly accurate in snake math terms of accuracy, so it's about half of accuracy. Honestly, I just wanted to make a video of pairing geckos, but I wanted it to do well on YouTube, so scorn me if you will. Just please, for the love of God, don't leave a dislike and a mean comment. My ego cannot take it. If you guys want to see how the last year's breeding season went compared to this year's breeding season, here is this video right here, or a playlist of Project 500 that I scrapped immediately because I didn't want to make that many crested geckos, and we ended up downsizing all those crested geckos to create the bioactive store. As always, boys and girls, thank you so much for taking the time of your day to follow us over here at Dakota Blue Exotics. I will see you guys next time, but until then, goodbye.